Today's lesson is talking about expressions and variables. And we're going to start off by looking at some key vocabulary words for this lesson. Our first vocabulary word is numerical expression. And if we look at the word numerical and break that word down, we can almost see another word. Numerical almost spells number. Then if we look at the word expression and we think about literature and what that word means for us in literature class, expression means phrase. So if we put those two things together, numerical expression should mean number phrase, and that's exactly what it means for us in math. By definition, numerical expression means a math phrase that includes numbers and or operations such as addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division that show the value of something. So if we look at our example, we can clearly see that in each of those examples, we only see numbers and operations. So basically, numerical expression only contains numbers and operations. Our next vocabulary word is variable. And if we look at it the same way we did the first vocabulary word and break it down, we almost see the word varies, which if something in real life varies, that means that we're uncertain of it, so it's therefore unknown. So variable in math should mean unknown. So let's look at the definition and see. So the definition of variable says that it's a symbol for a value we do not know yet. It is usually a letter. So if you look at the example, you can see that the letters that we use to represent variables are the letters of the alphabet. Please make a note that there's one particular letter of the alphabet that we do not use for a variable, and that letter is a lowercase I, because in the later math that you will see, I represents another type of number, which is called imaginary. So basically, variables in math are letters that we use to represent things that we do not know. And there's only one letter we don't use, and that's the letter I. Our next vocabulary word is called variable expression. If we break down this word, we can see that this should possibly mean something dealing with varying or unknown in a phrase. So a phrase that contains things that varies or is unknown. The definition given to us says that variable expression is a math phrase that includes variables, numbers, and operations that show the value of something. So if we look at the examples, we can see that there's only one difference between numerical expression and variable expression, and that is that variable expression contains unknown values called variables. Our next vocabulary word is evaluate. Within this word is the word value. The math definition given to us is that evaluate means to calculate the value of an expression by putting numbers where the letters are. So if you look at our example, you can see that they gave us the expression x plus 3, and so we evaluate that expression by replacing the variable x with the number that was given, 5. So 5 plus 3, we were able to evaluate it to find out that the expression's value is 8. So basically, when you evaluate in math, you're finding the value of an expression. Our last vocabulary word for this lesson is verbal model. Verbal refers to words. Model refers to representation. So our definition for verbal model is a word, equation, or expression that represents a real situation. So in our examples, we can see that we have some words that are highlighted, and the whole complete sentence can be used to represent a mathematical expression. So verbal model in math is words that can be used to represent numbers, operations, and or variables. So let's look at some examples of how we would be using these vocabularies to solve math problems. For the first two examples, we see that they're asking us to evaluate a variable expression that they're giving us. In the first example, we're given the expression 4D. Then they tell us that D equals 120. So in other words, we're finding the value of the expression 4D by putting numbers where the letters are. So we see that there's a letter D, And so we're going to replace that letter D with the number that they give us, 120. So I start by rewriting my variable expression. As you can notice that for D, knowing that I have to plug something in, for best practice in math, I'm going to be sure before I plug anything in to always put parentheses around it. So now that I have my parentheses, I'm ready to plug something in. So I replace D with 120. So 4 times 120, I get 480. So the value of the variable expression 4 times D when D equals 120 is 480. Sometimes you'll be given a variable expression that only contains variables and operations like example 2. So how are we going to find the value of those expressions? Well, we do the same thing. You rewrite your expression first by putting parentheses around the variables. So when I put numbers where the letters are in example 2a, I get 10 plus 4, which equals 14. In example 2b, I get 10 times 4, which equals 40. Use the examples we just completed to try problems 1 through 4. Look over the problems that I just completed for you and let me know if you have any questions. So now that we know how to evaluate variable expressions, let's look at how we can use verbal models to represent expressions. So we have to first figure out some common words and phrases that indicate different operations. Let's start with addition. Here are some words that mean addition: plus, sum, total, increased by, more than, added to, all together. When we see these words written within a verbal model, we should know to use the plus sign because those words tell us that we will be adding. More than is one special phrase for addition that contains a word that is referred to as a yield word. So whenever we see the word more than, we must always remember to swap the order. Let's move on to subtraction. Here are some words that mean subtract: minus, difference, take away, decrease by, less than, fewer than. When we see these words used within a verbal model, we must remember to use the minus or subtraction sign. There are 2 phrases in this list that have yield words that we need to also remember to swap the order of what's been subtracted. Let's move on to multiplication. Here are a few words that tell us to multiply: times, product, twice, double, triple, per. There are several symbols that we can use to show multiplication. The first symbol is well known in undergrad level math. We normally use this symbol, which is the times symbol. But when we advance into the high school math, we start using this symbol because now that symbol looks like a variable x. So we don't want to confuse it with the variable x, so we refrain from using it. So there's 3 other ways that we can show multiplication. We can use the times dot, we can use parentheses, or sometimes you'll see brackets being used. In our list of multiplication words, we have some words that require you to have a little understanding on what those words mean or tell you to multiply by, such as twice. When you take twice of something, that means you're multiplying by 2. Same thing for double. When you're doubling something, you're multiplying by 2. Triple would mean multiply by 3. For our final operation, division, here are a few words that mean to divide: divided by, quotient, half, 1/3, 1/4, and so on. Similar to multiplication, there are also several symbols that we use to show division. The most common one that we know in the younger grades is the division symbol and the long division symbol as well. But when we start stepping into algebra and higher math, we refrain from using these 2 symbols and you start seeing division written as a fraction. So we can write a fraction using the slash symbol, or we can write a fraction by using the fraction bar by putting a number at the top and a number at the bottom, separated by the fraction bar. Let's look at some examples on how we can use verbal models to represent a variable expression. The first step we need to do is read the problem. So in example 1, it says the quotient of a number and 8. Next, we reread the problem by scanning it for some of our keywords that tell us operations that should be used. In this phrase, we see the keyword quotient, which means to divide. So we know that we can either use a division symbol or the fraction symbol to show that we're dividing something. So what are we taking the quotient of? The problem tells us that we're taking the quotient of a number and 8. Now, they didn't tell us what the number is, so what are we going to use for the number? So since they didn't tell us, that means it's unknown. So when they use the phrase a number and don't tell us the number, we're going to use a variable. And for my examples, I'm going to use the most common variable that we see being used, which is the variable x. So for example 1, I've shown you 2 different ways that you can show the quotient of a number and 8. You can use a division symbol by saying x divided by 8, or you can use a fraction bar by putting x over 8 with the fraction bar separating the two. Now let's move on to example 2 by reading it. It says 12 less than a number. So again, we're going to reread the problem by highlighting one of the keywords that tell us to either add, subtract, multiply, or divide. The keyword in this phrase is less than, which means subtract. Remember, less than is one of those keywords for subtraction that tells us that when we write out the variable expression, we need to swap the order of what the phrase is telling us. So what are we taking and subtracting? Well, the problem is telling us that we're subtracting 12 and a number, which we don't know. So the number is, we're going to use a variable in the place of the phrase a number. So 12 less than a number can be written as x minus 12. Use the 2 examples that I just completed for you to try the You Try problems 1 through 4. Look over the problems that I just completed for you and let me know if you have any questions. To show that you have mastered this curriculum, please complete the quick check and turn it in before you leave class today.